Thoughts on Darren, playing up top, keeping Hoff off, being lonely on his island, and helping lead the press in a way that was effective?
Yeah, we tried something different, a whole new kind of formation. Clearly, it worked. I think looking back at the Vancouver game, there was just not enough energy in the team for whatever reason. Um, and we know at home that we need to bring energy. And Darren is a player that, of course, as a striker, he loves to score, but he's similar to Hoffa in the fact that he works so hard off the ball. Um, and of course, with the altitude, we love putting teams. I always say it in the high pace games. Probably Chris says it too. Um, but yeah, today he earns that goal through all the good work that he did off the ball. I believe that's how it goes sometimes in soccer, where you do all the dirty work and the fun stuff will come to you.
Thought they matched the energy pretty well and brought it to you, made it tough, especially towards the end. Got chippy. Can you just kind of comment on the energy in there?
Yeah, I think, San Diego, they're a very good team. And they're a team that's not going to quit. They have a lot of experienced guys in the league, outside the league. But you can see that when they scored that goal, it's similar to how it was in Charlotte, where our attitude didn't change at all. We pushed the game. I think this is also the difference between last week and this week is we go down a goal or they score a goal, we hit a road bump, and today we stuck to the plan, and that's what gets us the next two goals.
It was Cody Pietro's first time making a picture as a Rapid. What have you seen from him in training through his time here, and what do you think he'll bring to the team as the season goes on?
Yeah, first off, his attitude, his mentality, the will to win, the will to compete in training. You see it every day, and the last month or so, he was finally in full training, and we can clearly see that he's coming here to maybe prove a point. I think that's a common thing that the club is doing, is bringing players in that maybe are on the out of somewhere else, bring them here knowing they're good enough to compete and help us win. Yeah, he's also a very good finisher, both feet. He's definitely going to help us. I think he's probably frustrated he didn't get that goal. He had a nice chance to get on the score sheet himself, but I think coming off of a long-term injury like he did, we're all happy for him to make his debut finally.
Cole's usually pretty good at maintaining his composure and not really showing us what he's thinking. But every time he gets to play in space, he gets to play in a more forward position, you can just tell from his comments, from the way that he behaves, just how much did that mentality of Cole just wanting to play in space, of him liking to play in a more forward position, just kind of paint the whole attitude of the team tonight and just kind of put that charge in that you said might have been missing in Vancouver, to just have him covering so much ground in the offensive third.
Yeah, I think he does that every game. He's a player that wants to be on the ball all over the field. I think over time he's going to probably learn to relax a bit and keep a little bit more structure. And I know the coaches are speaking to him about this kind of stuff too, because sometimes you don't need to run that much. We have a structure, we have a formation for a reason. But yeah, I'm not too sure how his mentality is playing deeper versus more up the field. I think he keeps the same mentality no matter what. But yeah, I think the other thing is that he speaks a lot about wanting to get goals and assists, and maybe thinks too much about that stuff. When you think too much about scoring and assisting, you're never gonna get that. I think today he wasn't worried about all that kind of stuff. He just played free, and when he's on his best game, he's clear that how important he is to the rest of the team. And I hope that he can keep that consistency.
And I ask that because him covering that space allows you make that early run with the great ball from Zach. You're able to just kind of pop up in pockets of space. How much does that help you to have a player like Cole who's willing to fill space and kind of play off you and be kind of a counterbalance that way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning and understanding the type of player he is. I know it sounds weird because we've been playing for a year, but like I said, he's a player that loves to roam around the whole field, and it's up to me to kind of work off of that, because I'm kind of the opposite. I don't need to touch the ball all over the field. I like to touch the ball closest to the goal and wait. Today I make maybe 20 passes, him probably double that, but we're just complete different types of players. Yeah, if he wants to roam around, I'll just pick up wherever he's not.
Djordje, Chris said that it was a bit of a calculated risk, the change in the shape, but sticking to the team's principles. How different or uncomfortable or excited is it to try something new when it starts to work?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when it works out, right? When it doesn't work out and you're asking questions, but I think the formation, all these tactics, it doesn't really matter that much given our philosophy and who we are as a team, what makes us so great. We're always going to play with the same idea of high tempo, high press, no matter how we're structured. But it gives us also different options. When teams come here, different formations, what the games are asking. I think the big thing that he spoke about was, I think it was when we played Vancouver, how he subs on Yappy and we go to two strikers. There's kind of like maybe a lack of understanding of maybe how we're going to play. So this is something that we worked on this past week, is playing with a few different ideas, formations, really understanding when we go to this, everybody knows their role. And I think that was important to how we played today.
How about Vinesy with his first start?
Yeah, how about that? Very good.
Yeah.
Djordje, with your goal tonight, you're at 30 goal contributions within 37 games played here with Colorado. That's the fastest of any Rapids player in club history. What does that mean to you to hold that record and settle in very quickly here just in the last year?
Yeah, I learned that maybe 30 minutes ago. I think that's pretty cool. Honestly, I didn't think it was that much, and in that short period of time, it feels like I've been here for a very long time, honestly. That doesn't include like all the other games, right? Leagues Cup, just MLS. Yeah, it's probably not as good with all the other games, but yeah, I mean, I'm sticking to my role in the team, doing my best to create and for myself and for others, and also these types of things. It goes with how well the whole team is playing. I think I'm doing my best to get the striker some goals, myself some goals. So I hope I can keep that up.